Hi, this is Joey Smith, and I'm here to give you some information about how to download data sets from the ICPSR. That stands for the Inter-University Consortium for Political and Social Research. The nice thing about the ICPSR is there's lots and lots of data that's available here over a lot of different topic matters, ranging from health to crime to politics and everything that you can think of in between. Today we're just going to simply pull down a couple of data sets and import them into SAS and use them to calculate some means. The first thing we want to do is just search for some data. So suppose we wanted to look at 2012 voting behavior. Well, we have the voting behavior data that comes up under ICPSR study number 34808. And what we're going to do is we're going to see whether or not they have any kind of SAS data sets that we can look at. So we click on this and we see that there's a SAS data set that's available and that there's a code book. And the code book has a listing of all the different variables that's available inside the data set. It's not limited to SAS. They have SPSS, Stata, R, and lots of other different data set types here, but this is primarily geared toward people who are using SAS. And so if we click on that SAS data set download, in a pretty quick time it downloads and makes available a zip file that we can then extract. If we extract the zip file, you just simply use any zip or unzip program, extract that zip file, and so now we have the ICPSR folder on our desktop, and what we want to do is get access to that data set. Double click on that and it gives us a listing of the data description. Let's open that up and see what we got. And so this is information about the study itself. And inside this folder we find the code book, the data set, and supplemental syntax just in case we need it. Luckily, this particular data set comes as a SAS transport file. And a SAS transport file is easy to read into SAS. If you've already got SAS loaded on your machine, you can just simply double left click, and it will open up SAS and it will read in this information directly into your work file. And so here's the data set, and we just double clicked on it. I'll show you that one more time. Let's delete it. Delete the formats and clear the log window. If we go back and we double click on this data set, it opens this file, and we can see that each one of these observations are individual people. These are case IDs. There are 5,916 observations in the data set and lots of different questions that they asked these respondents. And so one thing we might want to do, just to get an idea about what's in the data set, we can calculate a prop means, or the descriptive statistics of the data set. And so we can say data 01. We're going to set this data set, and since I'm a bad speller, I'm just going to copy the name of the data set directly into SAS's programming window in the editor, and then we're going to say prop means and run. And when we run this, it's going to read that data set and calculate the number of observations, the mean, the standard deviation, the minimum, and the maximum for each one of the numerical variables that are contained in the data set. And so you can see there's lots of different information here. The label tells us something about the data that's in the column, but the column itself is labeled by this A1, A2, A3, and so on. Not very descriptive, and that's one of the reasons you need that code book, is so that while you're doing your data manipulation and possibly running your regressions, that you can refer back to the code book and know that, say, the race of the respondent or the gender of the respondent is R1, R2, the age is R3, and so on. And so if you need to make some sort of calculation, like if you're going to use education, years of education and education years squared, you could say that R4 squared is equal to R4 times R4, or R4 caret 2. I'm sorry, star 2. So this just gives you an idea about how to pull down a SAS data set that is in a SAS transport file.